Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, and today we're about to have a look at the Marvel Universe Wrecker. Of course, the character's name is the Wrecker, but up here instead of just writing Wrecker, they wrote Marvel's Wrecker, which is what they did for a lot of the Wrecking Crew. They did like Marvel's Pile Driver, crap like that. Don't really know why. But of course, his accessories, as you can see here in packaging, he comes with his signature crowbar, his base, and his secret files. And I'm really excited to have this guy. I've always wanted a Wrecking Crew set, and as much crap as I give the Marvel Universe line, they've been the first toy line to not only give us a Wrecker, but the entire Wrecking Crew. So that being said, let's go into the back of the packaging here. On the back, you've got a picture of Winter Soldier, Iron Patriot, and Mary Jane. Down here, a picture of Osborn. And the Wrecker's little read-up says, Dirk Garthwaite never needed a reason to be a bad guy. For as long as he can remember, he's been filled with anger and determined to make everyone else suffer for it. Even before Asgardian magic turned him into being powerful enough to challenge even the mighty Thor, he got his kicks by robbing people and destroying their stuff. Flush with superhuman power, he takes great joy in trashing things on an epic scale. Together with his partners in the Wrecking Crew, he's nearly a match for the Avengers. So that being said, I couldn't be more excited for this guy. Let's pull this bad boy out of the packaging. And here we have the Wrecker out of packaging holding his crowbar. Unfortunately, when I opened the packaging, I discovered that his hand that holds his crowbar came pretty much falling off. Now, it's not like it's broken or anything. The peg simply slides back on. But that's definitely a major issue. No matter how much force you put on this thing, the slightest little movement is going to pull the hand off. I don't know if this is just quality control on mine or what, but it's a pretty big deal. It wouldn't be such a big deal if it wasn't the hand that holds the weapon, but oh well. This glove seems to be on just fine, though. No issue with it popping off. But the Wrecker, other than his hand popping off, definitely has a very nice presentation to himself. Let's get a quick look at his detail. See, kind of a ridiculous face sculpt. They kind of got his lower jaw jutting out. But overall, a very nice level of detail on the figure. So pulling him off his base really quick. Of course, he has the standard Marvel Universe base as the Wrecker, number 20. Of course, his articulation. He does a full 360 at the head, up and down. Arms do a full 360 as well. Hand falls off again. Arms go out, spin at the bicep, bend at the elbow, and turn at the wrist if you can't tell, but that's a small issue. Of course, does a full 360 at his torso. Of course, his legs go out, forward and back, spin, double jointed at the knee, and turn at the ankle as well as bend up and down. So, unfortunate about the hand, but we do get a very nice level of articulation on the Wrecker. So, let's actually... You can't even try and grab the crowbar with his hand popping off. That's just so irritating. Not going to be a huge deal once he's on a shelf, but I can't really glue it without losing the articulation in his wrist. So let's try and pop that back on. Of course, it's just a standard crowbar, but it is pretty nice as far as size comparison. So let's slide this back in. Another thing about size comparison is that the Wrecker is definitely a pretty massive figure in and of itself. Just to get a quick comparison to a more standard-looking Marvel figure, here's the member of the Wrecking Crew Bulldozer out of packaging. And even though he doesn't have his base, you can definitely tell the Wrecker definitely has a much more massive body in comparison to Bulldozer. But Wrecker, this wave is actually kind of hard to find right now. The Wrecker online won't run you but about, I think, around $15 after shipping. Let's actually go into his secret files before we get a final thought on this thing. Oh, ripped it again. I'm not saving these things either, but so it doesn't really matter. Of course, here you have the Wrecker. On the back, real name Dirk Garthwaite. I think I'm saying that right. Codename Wrecker, hair brown, eyes blue, blah blah blah. Powers. Having been transformed by Asgardian magic, the Wrecker originally possessed power that made him the equivalent of an Asgardian god. The Wrecker carries a 4-foot-long steel crowbar that was also affected by Asgardian magical enchanting, becoming virtually indestructible. Wrecker also is a brutish street brawler. of course, your little quote or message. It says, Hammer Offices, Washington, D.C., from Dr. Carl Bad to Warden Lear Shaw on the raft, subject Dirk Garthwaite. I can never say his name right. I'm not sure what you expected me to find when you asked me to evaluate Dirk Garthwaite's mental state. The man is perfectly mentally sound, at least as far as the law is concerned. He is simply a career criminal without the capability for remorse. He has no illusions about what he is, despite the incredible power he holds, which he claims derives from Asgardian magic, a claim I would discount had I not seen the footage of him battling Thor. He knows he is little more than a thug raised up to supercriminal status, but he is quite content with that. If I had to diagnose him, I would say that he lacks impulse control and could benefit from anger management training, but I don't think treatment for either condition will benefit him. Dr. Carlbad. Of course, the only other thing in that pack was your code, which I hear you can go online, enter this in, get a little extra read up on the character, but it's not like I really care about that. But that being said, let's actually get a comparison with the rest of the Wrecking Crew out here. And here we have the Wrecker standing with the rest of the Wrecking Crew, Thunderball, Pile Driver, and Bulldozer. Of course, all those figures were released in separate 2-packs along the way. Of course, gotta say, having them all together really makes it look nice. They all complement each other really well. The only member of the Wrecking Crew not here is one they just recently added, which was one of their sons who had a shovel. That came up in Runaway somewhere along the line. But overall, the Wrecker's an okay figure. It really kind of irks me that his hand pops off so easily. When he hits stores, he'll run about $7.50. Online, he runs about $15 with shipping. If you're a fan, he's definitely a nice figure. I actually really highly recommend him if I didn't think every figure had the hand popping off. But I picked up the entire Wrecking Crew, as you can see, and they all look great. This is JTrain997 saying, hope you get one that doesn't have a hand popping off, and I'll see you soon, YouTube.